Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I'm Tommy Burton, and today's album is a reissue. It is from the Capitol Vault, and I've got this little hype sticker, audiophile quality, remastered for vinyl. It says limited edition. I don't know how limited it is, but it is a wonderful album. It is Sunflower by the Beach Boys. Now, you know, a lot of people know that I'm, in particular, a Beach Boys fan, but not only a Beach Boys fan, but I think the Beach Boys really, the best work comes after Pet Sounds. But a lot of people know and are familiar with the pre-Pet Sounds Surfing Cars and Girls, those kinds of tracks, and that's great, but I think they get really interesting after Pet Sounds. But unfortunately, that's when their commercial sort of success fell off. And this album came out in August of 1977. It was the first album they did on the Reprise label. And it was, you know, it was accepted with some very good reviews, but it sold very, very poorly. It only reached 151 on the album charts. There were no like distinguishable hits on this album, and so it definitely suffered from a bit of just you know, poor promotion and everything that went along with it, despite all the hope of them you know, kind of reinventing themselves with Reprise. If you're familiar with the album Friends that came out in 1968, there was a lot of different sort of songwriting contributions coming. Obviously, Brian Wilson was still involved at this point, and Dennis started to come into his own as a writer. But Al Jardine, Carl, Bruce Johnston, and Mike Love also were starting to write more. And so, you know, the record kind of was begun under this sort of legal battle with Capitol Records. And there were all these songs that were written and recorded. But because of this legal battle, it definitely suffered. And I want to say, now some of my Beach Boys historians can comment below and let me know that this was part of a project that was going to be called Landlocked. And so, like I said, the Beach Boys were really trying to reinvent themselves at this point as a new, you know, a more commercially successful band. But I will say this about Sunflower. Sunflower is probably as good an album as Pet Sounds in terms of listening to. Now, granted, it's not going to blow your mind musically like Pet Sounds does. There's some very, very nice songs. The album opens with a kind of funky tune by Dennis called Slip On Through. But it's got some Brian Wilson classics like This Whole World, Add Some Music to Your Day, which are absolutely wonderful songs. Cool, Cool Water closes the album out. But also one of Dennis's best ballads called Forever. You know, for those of you that are just not as familiar with Dennis Wilson and know Brian Wilson as the resident genius of the Beach Boys, and there's no taking away. I think Brian is a force all of his own, but I think Dennis was capable of some really, really brilliant music, and he didn't blossom until the 70s, until this period, and really this is around the time period where Dennis comes into his own. But it does feature a lot of those sweet Beach Boy harmonies and those kinds of sounds. So those are certainly part of the makeup of this album. And for those people that are sort of unfamiliar with the post-Pet Sounds Beach Boys, this album is certainly worth a look, especially for an album that was completely ignored when it was released. I think you'll find that you'll be quite surprised and enjoy this album quite a bit. There's some great, great songs here and some classic Beach Boys moments. But thanks for watching. That's today's Daily Record. Tune into my other channel, Tommy Burton's VC channel. The link's up above. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. I love interacting with you guys. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Daily Record.